Confused? You won't be after this episode of Soap.
But instead of soap, Mr. Drew Brees has it right. It is, in fact, New Orleans, Louisiana. Corey Johnson with you with a 55-gallon drum of drinking water. What am I supposed to do with this, Miss Peaches? This isn't like double fisting, like, man, he's got 2 drinks going at once. He's got one he's drinking and he's holding an extra. I'm double fisting just to get the thing in my mouth. This is like curls. This is like a 30-pound weight. I got suckered in at the store. It had 2 for $3, and then the bigger size was 2 for $4. And then I was like, all right, yeah, more water. And I'm like, yes, and also basically a half-gallon jug. That's what this is, almost a half gallon. Agua up. We're heading towards summer. Yeah, you're right. Corey Johnson back at you on a Thursday afternoon. Hey, our Humane May fundraiser's going on right now. Humane May. Why don't you go to the website, humanela.org, humanela.org. Jeff Dorson's going to join us like he does every single Thursday. That'll be around 4:50 for a couple of minutes. But our fundraiser started yesterday, May 1st. 31 days in May. We're down to 30. We're trying to raise $10,000 by the end of May, May 31st, a Friday. That's nice. We can end the week in style. And it's all for the Humane Society of Louisiana, over 35 years, saving the lives of cats and dogs, kittens and puppies, horses, goats, all kind of animals, birds, all kind of animals. Treating animals more humanely. They do it all the time, over and over and over and over again. Our Humane May fundraiser is going on. Please donate right now. $5, $10. Please do it. humanela.org. Don't kid yourself with the, hey, I've got a month to do it. I'll do it later in the month. You know what that is? That I made a great, I thought, analogy or comparison yesterday, Miss Peaches. That's the guy that throws the trash in the back of his pickup truck and then mysteriously is wondering, why it isn't there when he got home. Like the trash fairy came and took it out. No, dude, you hit 35 plus miles an hour and it blew out the truck and you knew it was going to. So this sort of, I don't know, you're an adult male driving a pickup truck and you throw trash in the back with this mindset, like not throwing out the litter. You might as well throw it on the street because you're littering. You know it's going to blow out the truck. You know it's coming. So you folks that are like, I'll donate later in the month. No, you're not. You're an adult and you're kidding yourself. You're not gonna. Do it right now. Just step up and donate. We need your help. This isn't about Corey or me or, boy, Corey's going on the offensive today with it. No, this is about cats and dogs, kittens and puppies, animals in Louisiana. We don't have the laws. The laws we do have, we don't enforce. We have belligerent people that, I'm not going to spay or neuter my animal. Just break the law. Cockfighting, dogfighting, insanity down here. We're like West Virginia or something, seriously. And then we got a bunch of folks that don't care. We 64 parishes, half of the parishes don't have any kind of kennel or shelter for animals. Half. And it's not like, oh, got the dog in so-and-so parish, I'll just go next door where there is the shelter and drop them off there. It just doesn't work that way. They just stay in that other parish, wandering the street, getting killed, run over, neglected. Horrible. Barbaric. I mean, it's sadly a reflection on Louisiana people around the country. They see this and they think West Virginia. This is our way of stepping up. I mean, this is easy. We should almost feel guilty about this. All I have to do is use my credit card and I'm out of the game. I can feel kind of guilt-free that I donated to help animals. That's pretty much how it works. We get to just donate some money. I get to just talk about it a little bit. And Jeff and his crew have to go out and catch the animal and rehab the animal and deal with that for weeks, maybe a month or more before the animal can get fostered out, adopted out, whatever. It's a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of patience. We don't have to deal with any of that. We just pull out our wallet, open up the purse, grab the credit card. HumaneLA.org. HumaneLA.org. Top left-hand corner of the page, you'll see me laying there with Blue Boy on the sofa. Click on there and donate. HumaneLA.org. Please donate right now and donate generously. Let's save some animals. It's that simple. As we speak, Mick Jagger, Ron Wood, Keith Richards, the Rolling Stones, they're getting it going, huh, Miss Peaches? At Jazz Fest. Is it it's 5 p.m.? Wow. Wow. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, 3:30, about 40 minutes ago, they shut everything down, right? All the other stages, I think, are done. Well, no, there's no other stage. Right, that's what I mean. They were today, but at 3:30, they shut everybody else's stage down. So all the jazz tent, whatever was open today for this kind of weird, not locals Thursday, Rolling Stones Thursday, 3:30, and yes, Miss Peaches is right, 5 p.m., Mick Jagger, Ron Wood, Keith Richards, the Rolling Stones performing in Gentilly. That's unbelievable. Performing in Gentilly in early May 2024 in New Orleans outside. Jazz Fest 2024. Pretty damn cool. Irma Thomas expected to be in that number for a song or two. I'm assuming Time Is on My Side is going to be that song. They both released that, the Stones and Irma Thomas, right around the same era. 63, 64, 65, something like that. Like, 60 years ago almost. That's crazy, isn't it? Mick Jagger's 80, I believe. 80. That means Irma Thomas is around 80-ish. Miss Peaches, can you do a little Irma Thomas research on that? She's got to be somewhere around there. Wow. 83. She's 3 years older than Mick. She does look great. That is going to be a tearjerker. I hope that Festival Productions, Quint Davis, the Stones, that they're getting a lot of cameras out there. There a lot of video on this, and ideally, put this thing on cable in 6 months. 2-hour Rolling Stone concert live from Jazz Fest outside. Are you kidding? Irma Thomas? No, I think there's going to be some tears shed this afternoon. Plus, these guys, I'm in my 50s. These guys were rolling along, pun intended, rolling along for like a decade. And then I was just a little kid being able to think and playing with toys and running around and maybe hearing it. I'm not trying to hook myself to. I'm just saying they were around for a decade, performing, filling stadiums, arenas, and I was a little tot riding a tricycle or my bike around and climbing trees. And then into my teens, they're releasing albums. And then I'm in college, they're releasing albums. And then I'm out of college, they're releasing albums. I'm doing radio, they're releasing albums. It's like, really? They predate me performing, not born before me. They're 80. They obviously born before me. They predate me as like known performers and are still going, and not the casino circuit. It's mind-blowing, mind-boggling. The way Mick Jagger moves around at 80, that is just crazy. Use it or lose it, I guess. Weather conditions today, 73 to 85. Tomorrow, an improvement, 30% chance of rain. It was 40 yesterday. 73 to 83. Saturday and Sunday, like identical days. 72 to 85, partly sunny, no rain. Yeah, you're right. Jazz Fest weekend number 2 is looking pretty good. And tomorrow we may get no rain. You never know. 30%, I'll take that all day long. I'll take 3 of 4 days of Jazz Fest with a no rain forecast and one day at 30% all day long. We were supposed to get some rain potentially today. Baton Rouge had rain. North Shore, parts of the North Shore had some rain, not over here. Pretty sweet. Hey, speaking of Baton Rouge, there are 4 Helm Paint and Decorating locations in Baton Rouge. That's right, Tiger Town. You heard me right. 4 Helm Paint and Decorating locations in Baton Rouge. Just like the 7 in Metro New Orleans. Benjamin Moore Products, free 2-hour delivery, taking care of you in Metro Baton Rouge when you got to paint in Metro New Orleans. And now when you got to paint in Metro Baton Rouge, do it once, do it right. They'll steer you in the right direction. Helm Paint and Decorating now in Baton Rouge. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
River Cities Total Maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NolaAC.com is your cool spot.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe. In the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line, Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Now, if I'm over like by Fillmore, by the driving range at City Park, by the golf shop, by the golf course outside, and I'm hearing Rolling Stones or some sound check yesterday, I guess it wasn't Rolling Stones, could have been some sound check yesterday all the way there. Now, I couldn't hear it. I could hear it. I couldn't listen to it. You know, it's just I knew, that's coming from the Jazz Fest grounds. Boy, a lot of folks are going to be in and around that area. Miss Peaches, I don't know if we should tell folks. I mean, just checking. I'm going to go on do a little map search real quick of that fairgrounds and try to give a little guesstimation. That Acura stage kind of, you know, it shoots straight out. It's not really angled. It's, you know what I mean? It's in that corner of the track, but it's not like they don't want it going towards the other side because it'll interfere with music and the other. So it sort of shoots straight out. It might even be hooked a little bit, you know, away from the stuff. Like if you're on the stage Acura, instead it might be a little shifted left to keep away from all the stuff to that side. So let me do a little map search real quick while we're live on the air. Oh boy. And there's Gentilly. There she blows. Let's see. Where's Gentilly Boulevard? There's the fairgrounds. All right. I wish someone really was there. I'm thinking that stage shifts a little maybe to the left. So the fairgrounds, believe it or not, it's like parallel to I-610, the track. It really is. Just looking at a map. So that means it's sort of parallel to the lake. So I'm kind of guessing you want to be on like the kind of Bayou St. John, in between like, definitely to say, but I would even say closer than to say like, Esplanade and kind of over by the cemeteries over there, kind of in that direction a little bit, I guess. Anyway, I think if you're by Desay, if you're by where, with the old South Golf Course, where they used to have the, where they have Voodoo Fest, your Deutsches House, as you mentioned, Miss Peaches, a little while ago, those are probably pretty good spots. That one I mentioned to you, that might be. No, I think that might be perfect, actually, where I was mentioning to you, I think. Let's see. I'm going to keep that one quiet. Yeah, that's the spot. That's a home run. Okay. That's ground zero, Miss Peaches, where I told you. Should I keep it quiet? All right. Damn. It's a good spot. Geesh. What's that? People could call in with spots on the best place to. I don't know if people know, because see, this is special. I don't. You can't go really in or around. I mean, I guess there are specific spots where you're just like a rifle shot. You're honed in where those speakers are. It's like a jet flying over. Sometimes you're right in the jet's path. It's miles away, but you hear the engine so loud. You must be like ground zero, right in line with it. I'm sure there are those spots, but you have 6 stages going at once. Like there's so much convoluted sound unless you're lined up perfectly. And I think most folks don't park around I live about a mile from Maple Leaf. I'll go to Maple Leaf and I'll just sit on the bench outside for like 20, 30 minutes, listen to somebody. The drummer will be 5 feet behind my head, behind that door. I'm on the bench, literally I'm closer to the drummer than people in there. I'm behind the music, but I'm still hearing the band and the music. Just, I don't even know who's playing sometimes. Just check them out and go home, walk the dog, whatever. And I don't think people will go to Tipitina's and they'll sit outside and listen to a band. I just don't know if people go to Jazz Fest and, man, there's a good spot by the fence. Maybe I'm wrong. And you get the Acura stage just nailing you. You get the, blues tent. You can hear everything in the blues tent, perfect acoustics, and you got your hands on the chain link fence. I don't know. Maybe that does exist. But I don't know people that do that. But Miss Peaches is going with her boyfriend. They've been dating for 36 years. It's incredible. He's from Marrera. She's from Avondale. Miss Peaches and her boyfriend are going to go park, put down the convertible top, and act like they're at an old drive-in movie. And we seem to have zeroed in on the perfect spot for them. I think some people are going to be doing that. That Shell station, is it still a Shell station where they park the cars? Esplanade at Bayou St. John. That probably is a pretty good spot. That bridge, maybe you could climb and sit on the old Beauregard pedestal by the entrance to the museum. That might be a good spot to check out the Stones for free. Now, the good thing is, you honestly, from those spots, I think you will be able to hear the lyrics. You'll know what song it is. I think it's pretty cool. Keith Sparrow, who does a really good job with the Times Picayune with music. I mean, just seems to really know what he's talking about. Doesn't have an ego, isn't trying to insert himself into the story. Just covers all this music really well. He broke down the Stones show in Houston, which was the first show of this tour. New Orleans is the second stop. You get the T-shirt, Houston, New Orleans, and then all the other dates. And they did 18 songs. They had 2 encores, and it was 20 total. It was 2 hours. And they're expecting to play 2 hours, and sure you're going to get that same kind of thing. The point is he had the 1966 so-and-so album, each song, when it was released, it was just unreal. Like 63, 66, 78, 85, 2023. I'm like, wow, just all these, years and decades of Rolling Stones and just all the different songs. Like, I know every song. They could do 20 more and you'd be like, I know every song. And am I a Rolling Stones fan? Sure, but I'm not like some fanatic. If I was, there'd be, some other programming on right now, or a best of, or worst of, or whatever. Yep.
You have a favorite?
What's that?
You have a favorite?
Of Stones? Probably not. We got to get Tim Rice on the program, don't we? Favorite Rolling Stones song, Miss Peaches. A favorite Rolling Stones song. Sympathy for the Devil's pretty good. Like that Keith Richards guitar solo in there. There's a few. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, that era, like 60s and then late 70s, Start Me Up. There's a lot of just great Rolling Stone stuff. This guy predates the Stones. Glad to talk with him. Saturday's another Kentucky Derby already. Tim Rice of Innisfree.org. His farm, his horse farm is Innisfree Farms. His website is Innisfree, INNISFREE.org. You local horse enthusiasts, Derby enthusiasts, know Tim Rice. His Derby letter for decades and decades and decades. This year's Derby letter, I mean, it's a preview, it's picks, it's selections, it's history, it's stories, a lot of focus on Secretariat this year. You can check it out at Innisfree.org right now, and it is free. Tim Rice joins us live on the program. How you doing, Tim? Tim, you there? Uh-oh. Oh, we got disconnected. I'm going to get back to Tim in a second. Apologize for that. Anyway, he has a book, Broke in a Tangle. If you're a horse enthusiast, check that out. You can order that Amazon, Barnes and Noble, broke in a tangle. Anyway, Saturday, the first leg of the Triple Crown already, Kentucky Derby. No, we're in May. It's crazy. Already in May. Our Humane May fundraiser going on. HumaneLA.org. That's where you can donate. HumaneLA.org. Rolling Stones cranking up in, about 30, 35 minutes? Unbelievable. Weather cooperating. I want to talk about that new city of St. George in the 5 o'clock power hour. Charlotte, one man. Question, how can one man, surrounded by police, shoot and kill 4 police and shoot and wound 4 other police? Answer, assault type rifle weapon. Crazy. That's just crazy. Corey Johnson with you. Our Humane May fundraisers coming up. You know what, Miss Peaches? Let's knock out this 32 after the hour break. And then we'll come right back with Tim Rice, and then we can take him all the way to the top of the hour, because I want to talk about his Derby letter, but also Tim Rice is old school New Orleanian. I just want to talk about some of that stuff too. Horse racing, Buddy D, how he got into this, where he grew up, all of this, his interest in horses and all of that stuff. I think you're going to find it really interesting, old school New Orleans stuff. Like Rouse's Markets, over 60 years, over 60 Rouses. Over a third of all Rouses are located in Metro New Orleans. Your grocery store. Best quality, best price, best selection. Tastes like home. There's 1, 2, maybe 3 on your way home from work. Rouse's Markets.
To the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today, and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer. I was mentioning earlier, you horse enthusiasts fired up about Saturday in the Kentucky Derby. You local horse enthusiasts know about Tim Rice, his Derby letter, decades and decades. It's a preview, scouting, selections, picks, and not the obvious stuff. Information, details, storytelling of the past, years and years, decades and decades, sorry, Tim, of really just expert analysis of the Kentucky Derby and horse racing in general. Tim Rice joins us from Innisfree Farms, where if you go to the website innisfree.org, INNISFREE, innisfree.org, you can check out his Derby letter right now for free for Saturday's Kentucky Derby. How you doing, Tim?
Good afternoon, Corey. I'm doing fine, thank you.
Great, man. Which edition is this? 40?
45.
Wow. That's unbelievable. Yeah. Can you believe it?
I know. I can't. When I think about it, I can't believe that I've really done it for that long. But it's been fun. I'd like to think it's gotten better, but I've certainly enjoyed doing it for a long time, and I'm not planning on stopping yet.
It's definitely gotten different. I'm imagining the first one you banged out on a typewriter.
Oh, well, it hadn't been that long. I had a computer, but
wow.
But there was no website.
Yeah, no email, none of that, right?
No. It was I'd fax it to the people that were interested. And then eventually it got emailed, and then I got a website, and it developed over the years.
Hey, Tim, I'm going to ask you the question on this first, and then I want to ask you some other stuff, and then we'll get into this. But what made you do the first Derby letter?
Well, it was actually at my office for quite some time. Every time when the Derby roll around, I used to get a bunch of people asking me how they could bet it. You know, people that only bet one horse race a year, and so I started sending out an inter-office memo.
Wow!
And the first letter was actually an inter-office memo.
Wow!
That was in 1980.
45 years ago.
Yeah, and the following year I started writing a full analysis of the horses that were entered and gave my opinion. And then I hit I got lucky a couple of years, so that made the circulation expand. And it's kind of, unfortunately, I I certainly don't get them right every year, but I've gotten enough of them right that people think maybe this is the year I'll get it right again. So the demand has certainly improved over the years, and I was very fortunate to have a profile written about me in the Wall Street Journal, and that really stimulated the interest. And
wow.
And the website was a big shot in the arm because it enabled me to get readers. I've got some old clients from London that read it over there, and it's gotten to some of the handicappers and bookies over there, and they read it, and it's really been kind of fun to see the scope of it expand over the years with no real advertising.
Right. No, organically.
And it helps that it's free too.
Yeah,
People
but
don't like
still.
to pay for things.
Yeah, but if it's quality, are they going to care if it's free? So that's amazing. How did the newspaper find out about you and do an article on you?
The Wall Street Journal?
Yeah.
Well, I had a friend that was a CNBC person. He was on CNBC, and he had wanted me to come on CNBC and do it. And I really felt uncomfortable doing that. And he said, "Well, I'm gonna get somebody to give
break
you
it
some
down."
publicity." And he had a friend at the Wall Street Journal and told the guy that they ought to write something about it. And the guy actually flew down here, came in with a cameraman and shot pictures of the farm. And it was really a nice article.
That's amazing. That's great stuff. Hey, Tim, I want to get back to this topic, your Derby letter and all that in a second. By the way, in the meantime, innisfree.org. You folks out there watching, listen, want to get the Derby letter. It is free. Innis, INNISFREE, innisfree.org. Tim Rice's Derby letter for this Saturday's Kentucky Derby, his 45th. Also, you can go on Amazon, Google his book, Broke in a Tangle. Tim Rice's book, Broke in a Tangle. Hey, Tim, what does that mean exactly for horse racing enthusiasts? No, I kind of have a feeling what it is. It's like someone says, what does that word mean? And I'm like, I kind of know, but I can't give you the definition. I kind of know what broken a tangle means, but I can't quite give you the definition.
Well, the every race in the U.S. is covered by the Daily Racing Form, and in addition to publishing the results, they do what's called a chart, and the chart shows the order of finish, where each horse was at each point, and then there's a text written that summarizes how the race was won, with each horse's name and how they performed. And it's really literary genius the way these guys write. And one of the expressions that's used when the gates open, sometimes a horse will come out and not break real well and maybe zigzag a little bit or bump into some other horses. And the description that they say is that the horse broke in a tangle. And I thought about that when I was reading the chart one day. And then I started thinking about some of my trips to the fairgrounds where I left broke and in a tangle. and
Race lost already, right out the gate. I throw the ticket away.
Right. So I thought that I'd combine the two to give the book a title.
That's hysterical. All right, Tim, before we get back into the Derby letter, how did you get into this? Where were you? Where'd you grow up in New Orleans, and what lured you into horse racing? And
the story is very simple. When I was 9 years old, my dad took me to the track, and I'd never seen a horse race. And the only place I'd ever seen a horse was in the zoo. And well, that's not true. I guess in the park might be a better way of putting it. But anyway, we went to the track, and I was absolutely spellbound. I mean, they hooked me for life at 9 years old.
Wow, that's amazing. And where did it go from there? You were at the, hey, Dad, let's go at 10, 11, 12. You were pulling on his shirt, wanting to go?
Yeah, absolutely. And he every now and then on a Saturday, we'd run out there and see a few races. And then when I got to high school, I went to Jesuit, and I had a couple buddies, and we'd take the bus over there to the fairgrounds and catch the last couple races. And we'd split a $2 ticket 4 ways, 50 cents each. That was a big bet for us.
Wow.
Kids in high school in those days, it wasn't, the money didn't circulate the way it does now.
It's almost like the Hap Glaudy story.
Oh yeah, well, that's Hap's the one that gave me my first break on the radio. You know, he started calling me and getting my picks, and then after he retired, he went to TV, and that's when I started doing it with Buddy D.
Yep. No, Buddy loved you.
He was a kick.
Boy, wasn't he? He was a kick. He loved the horses, boxing. New Orleans there wasn't saints. I mean, there always were when I was around, but not when you were a boy. And this was a boxing and horse racing town, and a big city too, right?
Oh yeah. Well, you remember that bar on Poydras Street? I guess it was like where the Whitney Bank is now, maybe. Well, it's not the Whitney Bank anymore. It's that there's a boutique hotel, but there was a place called Curly's Neutral Corner, and it's where all the wise guys hung out, and the boxing crowd, the racing crowd, and you could get a bet down in there anytime.
You mentioned Hap, Buddy D. That was just part of the fabric of all that, the horse racing and boxing, huh?
Yeah, there was something.
Tim Rice is with us. His Derby letter, previewing, highlighting, giving picks, all kind of selections, is available innisfree.org for Saturday's Kentucky Derby. Tim, I'm going to knock out a quick break. We'll come back and break down this year's Derby letter and the emphasis on Secretariat. How's that sound?
That sounds good. I'll be here.
That's Tim Rice with us. Innisfree.org, INNISFREE, Innisfree.org. And yeah, his book is Broke in a Tangle. Check that out too. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday. Coming right back. Rolling Stones cranking up in 10 minutes.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Ooh, Lord, Lord, that's what I said. Ooh, Lord, Lord, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe. In the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line, Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Hey, Tim, in about 10 minutes, the Rolling Stones are cranking up. I was saying these guys were going at it before I was even walking around. You were a little boy and they were going at it. It is ridiculous, huh? Mick Jagger's 80 years old. Irma Thomas expected to join the Stones for a song or two. She's 83.
That's great. I didn't know that she was going to be with them.
Yeah, I'm guessing time is on my side, something like that.
That's great.
Isn't that unbelievable? Hey, Innisfree.org is the website. He hasn't been doing it as long as the Stones. They've been doing it 60 years plus. But his Derby letter, 45 years. What's in the Derby letter? I was saying preview, breakdown, interesting stories, tidbits, selections, Tim, that aren't the obvious. I can go to the odds and tell you who's the favorite and go, pick that horse. You do it a little differently, don't you?
I always make it a point never to pick the favorite, but it's more fun to try to find something that maybe is a little bit overlooked by some of the other pickers, and certainly this year, the two horses that really stick out and will be the 2 shortest prices for sure. I'm not picking either one of them, although they could very easily run 1-2. But I think there's a lot of horses that I think could win it, and the hardest part for me was winnowing the number down to a manageable point to where I could. Typically, what I'll do is I'll make one selection. That's what I'm kind of regard as my best bet for the odds, and then I'll throw in a long shot or two.
Nice.
To for people to use for exactas and trifectas if they want to play that way as well.
44 previous picks. How many have you won?
I should have made that calculation, but I would say probably 11 or 12.
Now, what's amazing is, and you're never picking the favorite.
That's outright winners,
right? And besides, Tim, you got to figure out that exact outright winner, coupled with how many times the favorite won, because you're not picking the favorite. So it's an amazing statistic that you got 12 of 45, and you never pick the favorite.
They've all been big payoffs, and there's been I thought the biggest one I ever had was Giacomo in 2005, because he went off at 50-1.
Wow.
And then in 2019, I just had the most bizarre combination that I still can't believe it really happened. There was a 50-1 horse that was my long shot. He ended up running second, but they disqualified the winner.
Right.
So he got moved up to the win. The other two picks ran 2-3.
Wow.
So I had the exacta, the trifecta. The winner paid, I think he paid over $100 for a $2 ticket.
Wow.
The exacta for a $2 exacta paid $3,000. And the trifecta for $1 paid $10,000. And we had them all.
That's incredible.
That may have gotten me even for my life.
Yeah, exactly. Innisfree.org is the website. INNISFREE.org. Get the Derby letter for free right now. In 73, you couldn't pick Secretariat. Who did you pick?
Well, I picked a horse called Sham. He finished second in the Derby.
Damn, Tim.
And second in the Preakness.
Wow.
And but he was very interesting, and I mentioned this in the letter. He's now, they have all this computerized technology where they can go back and analyze the videotapes of the races and tell you exactly where each horse finished, time wise. And it's been proven that Sham ran the second fastest Derby that was ever run.
Wow. Wow. Now, Secretariat's still the only sub 2 minute?
Yes, and he still owns the record for the Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont, and he owns the record for the distances as well at other tracks. In other words, mile and a quarter rate, best time for a mile and a quarter, best time for a mile and 3/16, which is the Preakness, and best record for a mile and a half, which is the Belmont.
Wow. That's crazy.
And no one's ever done it since.
What made you emphasize Secretariat for this 45th Derby letter?
Well, I mentioned this in the letter that every year since I've been doing this, almost, somebody that I know says, why haven't you ever written about Secretariat?
There you go.
And I've always told them, I said, the reason I don't is because everybody knows the story, and there's nothing that I can put in there that they couldn't get out of the books that have been written, the articles that have been written.
Right.
There's even a Secretariat.com website.
Wow.
Where you can go read all the stories. So that's why I felt like there was really not much I could add. And then,
hey Tim, hang on 1 second. We're going to do this.
Sure.
I got to take a top of the hour break. We're going to call you back in 5 minutes, start the 5 o'clock hour with you, get a few pick selections for Saturday from you, and let you finish up that Secretariat point. I apologize for cutting you off. Blue Boy's barking. He's getting the Derby letter. He wants to know some good selections. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday. The 5 o'clock powwow is next. Don't move.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Schlemiel, Schlemazel, Haas and Vamp Incorporated.
Hey, I'm Laverne. We're at the brewery. I'm actually not Laverne. I'm Shirley. All right, we're not in Milwaukee. We're in New Orleans. No Laverne and Shirley. Corey Johnson with you. The Neutral Ground till 6 o'clock. Hey, till 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe. Outdoor dining. To-go orders. Lebanon's Cafe. Some of the best Middle Eastern food in the metro area. Tonight for dinner, make it Lebanon's Cafe. So good. Shish kebab. Boy, I love shish kebab. Lebanon's Cafe. There you go, Mr. Drew Brees. It is indeed New Orleans, Louisiana. In, boy, about 48 hours, it'll be Kentucky. Tim Rice is with us from innisfree.org. INNISFREE. Innisfree.org. It's his 45th edition of his Derby letter, breaking down the Kentucky Derby. He's been doing it annually for 45 years, since 1980. You can get it absolutely free. Innisfree.org. A lot of highlights on Secretariat, recapping Secretariat and pick selections this year, all that good stuff. Hey, Tim, before we get to pick selections, suggestions from you for this year's race in about 48 hours, you were talking about Secretariat, and folks had bothered you for years to write something, and you're like, it's everywhere. What am I going to write? And what did you come up with? What was the angle?
Well, I started thinking about things, and the thing that struck me is that there are fewer and fewer people that were really paying attention when all this was happening in real time. And I was surprised when I went back and thought about it, some of the experiences that I had that directly touched on him and people around him and that sort of thing. And once I started trying to write about it, the stories just kept popping into my mind that just really hadn't been told. I was able to produce something that I'd like to think maybe shed some new light on things.
Well, I'd love to hear it.
Well, probably the first thing is that a lot of people don't realize that he got beat 4 times, and there was a story behind every one of those losses that compromised him, that weren't of his making. And one time he had an abscess tooth that wasn't disclosed. And another time he had run a fever for 4 days before the race. And, today those things, there's no way you would start a horse that had been running a fever, and you certainly wouldn't start a horse that had an abscess tooth.
Really? You'd scratch the horse for those races?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
What does the abscess tooth do? Just it's painful and
even the most hardened guy wouldn't do that to a horse.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. What about the other 2 races?
Well, one of them was a race he wasn't supposed to run in. And they ran him with 1 week's rest.
Wow.
there was a story behind that one as well. I mean, the bottom line is there's only one of those losses that I think he really got beat fair and square, and that's one of the profiles in the article. There's an article about the trainer that not an article. There's a story about the trainer who was known as his nickname was the Giant Killer, and that was before he beat Secretariat. He had beaten so many great horses with horses that didn't really look that great. I mean, he was he seemed to make a business out of winning those kind of races.
Where was the race and who was the horse?
Well, the first one, because he beat Secretariat twice with two different horses, but the one that was really a good horse that deserved to win was a horse called Onion, and that was in New York. That was at Saratoga.
Did Onion run in any of the Triple Crown races?
No. He'd had a long history of unsoundness. You know, he missed a lot of training when he was a younger horse, and he didn't really come into his own until he was almost 5. But he was sure ready that day.
Any other Secretariat stories?
Well, I told this was when I was going to Saratoga, and I had a friend who I mentioned in the article who was having a party at his house in Saratoga, and Jennifer and I, my wife, were invited to it, and we sat down, and when everyone was seated, and there was a seat next to us that was unoccupied, and this lady walked up and sat down next to us and turned to us and said, "Hi, I'm Penny Chenery." She was the owner and breeder of Secretariat.
Wow!
And so we got to sit and talk with her for the whole evening almost during the dinner, and got to listen to all her stories about the stuff that she'd done with the horse. And a lot of people don't realize that she actually, the year before, had a horse called Riva Ridge that won the Derby and the Preakness.
Damn.
I mean, excuse me, the Derby and the Belmont. And she came very close to winning the Triple Crown with that horse. And when her horse lost the Preakness, the winner was owned and bred by the guy that was giving the party.
Oh, wow.
It's just one of those bizarre coincidences. And then the end of that is that when we were up in Kentucky, we went out to Claiborne Farm and got to meet Secretariat later the same year that we met Mrs. Chenery. And we got Jennifer took her picture with me and Secretariat, but unfortunately Hurricane Ida wiped out my office barn, and with it took the picture. So
oh no!
I would have loved to put the picture on in the article this year.
Yeah.
The picture's gone.
The article Tim's talking about is his Derby letter. You can get it at innisfree.org, INNISFREE.org, Saturday's Kentucky Derby. Tim, give me some picks, some selections.
Well, my main pick this year is actually a Japanese horse. And his name is Forever Young. He's has never raced in the U.S. He's only raced in Japan, Saudi Arabia, and Dubai. And Saudi Arabia and Dubai, some of your listeners may not know, have become major horse racing locations for world-class racing.
Yep.
And he's had 5 races and he's won all 5 of them, but he's still going to probably be 10-1 or more because he's never raced here. People don't. It's very difficult to assess how good he is, and I'm kind of sticking my neck out a little bit because a lot of the usual ways we have of measuring performance here, it's different there because the surfaces are different. The way they run the races are different. It's not the same. But this trainer, who's Japanese, of course, has already come over here and won 2 Breeders' Cup races. So he knows a little bit about
winning
American racing.
Yeah.
And the horse has got a beautiful U.S. pedigree. His sire and his dam both traced great race horses here. So
wow.
he's not some lesser bred horse. I mean, he's got a beautiful pedigree.
Hey Tim, we got about 20 seconds. How about runner up, 3rd place finisher?
I think my long shot pick is a horse called Resilience, and he won the Wood Memorial. He's trained by Bill Mott, who started off at the fairgrounds. That's where he got his start. And there's three other horses that ran at the fairgrounds. So there 5 of the 20 starters ran at the fairgrounds this winter.
That's unreal. Who are the other ones?
Well, Sierra Leone, who will be the 2nd pick, Catching Freedom. Pardon me?
No, go ahead. Sorry, Tim. And what?
Sierra Leone, who's going to be the 2nd pick behind a horse called Fierceness. And then there's Catching Freedom, who won the Louisiana Derby.
Wow.
And Track Phantom, who won a couple of the Derby preps, but ended up finishing 4th in the actual Louisiana Derby. So there's a total of, and Anna Marie is the other one.
Wow.
Who would run here.
25% of the horses in the Derby have run at the fairgrounds in Gentilly, where the Stones are playing right now. Hey, Tim Rice, it's innisfree.org, right?
That's it, pal.
Hey, thanks so much, Tim. I really appreciate it. Have a great time Saturday.
Enjoy the Stones.
Yep, exactly, everybody. Tim Rice with us. Yep. Saturday, the Kentucky Derby, innisfree.org. Check out his Derby letter, INNISFREE, innisfree.org, his 45th Derby letter. Corey Johnson with you, coming right back.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. No AC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. No AC.com, your cool spot.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint.
and supply.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Yeah, you, right? Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Thursday afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us. 5 o'clock power hour this afternoon, brought to you by Leidenheimer Baking Company. Talk about part of the fabric of this city. They've only been baking that Leidenheimer French bread at Leidenheimer Baking Company since the late 1800s. I'm not kidding you. 1896 right here in New Orleans, and they've been doing it basically continuously since then. Might have been a little snafu with Katrina, bumping them offline for a little while, and then they're right back at it. And now they export that bread out of their New Orleans bakery to about 20 states around the Southeast. Do you know Leidenheimer French bread freezes so well? You take some Leidenheimer French bread, stick it in some freezer bag, stick it in your freezer. A week or two later, pull it out, throw it in the oven. About 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes at 350, comes out just piping hot, crispy, like you got it from the Leidenheimer bakery. Fresh, so good. Leidenheimer French bread. The 5 o'clock power hour this afternoon, brought to you by Leidenheimer Baking Company. This guy doesn't stop. He's been at it for 35 plus years, saving cats and dogs, kittens and puppies, horses, goats, thousands and thousands of animals. And it does not stop. There's always a new case. There's always another cruelty situation. There's always neglected animals. There's always something. Jeff Dorson, he's with the Humane Society of Louisiana. The website's humanela.org. That's where you can donate, humanela.org. What's up, Jeff?
Well, thanks to you. We're kicking off our Humane May for like the 5th or 6th year. Can you remember what year we started? I'm kind of fuzzy.
That's about right.
Okay.
That's about right.
Well,
you and I have been doing stuff for probably about 25. But for the strictly the Humane May, I was doing a fundraiser a few years before that for another group, sort of unappreciative, not really caring if I did it or not. I was like, why am I doing it for them? And then I'm like, what about my guy Jeff, who's always been great? And then I guess 5, 6 years ago, Jeff.
Yeah, and thanks to you, it's been working. 10,000 for the month of May when things start to slow down. It's been a big boost. Last year, we actually kicked it up a notch, and I think we hit 12,000. So really appreciate you taking time to educate your listeners on what this is all about. Just everybody thinks it's all handled, that you make a phone call and somehow somebody manages it and takes care of the issue, and usually nothing could be further from the truth. Our state doesn't have a very strong infrastructure for either taking care of companion animals properly or wildlife. So every day is kind of a struggle of how do we put things together to help these animals in need. I'll give you an example if you have a minute.
Yeah. Let me throw this in real quick. There's 64 parishes. Less than half have any kind of shelter. And New Orleans Parish folks living in New Orleans, like me, got a dog, got a stray somewhere, make a phone call right now and see if someone's going to A, answer the phone, B, come out and pick up that stray. So that's New Orleans. So we're terrible at this in New Orleans and Louisiana. Anyway, Jeff, sorry to interrupt.
No, that's exactly right. That's the right lead-in. Evangeline Parish. We get calls all the time of Oils, Evangeline, Union, Franklin, Red River, East Carrollton, West Carrollton, East Feliciana, St. Helena, St. James. None of them have public shelters. Imagine all those thousands of residents, hundreds of thousands, who can't get anybody to answer a phone about a basic animal welfare concern.
Yep.
It's mind-boggling.
It is.
That elected officials think that that's okay.
No, you're right, Jeff. It's mind-boggling and it's unacceptable.
Yeah, it's so easy to say, oh, we don't do that, or we can't, or we've never done that, or call somebody else. How about let's figure it out together? It's always a strange thing. These elected officials on the local level, sometimes state, work hard to get elected, and then it's like they go to sleep.
Yep.
Like, what was the point of all that?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Very strange. So Evangeline Parish gets the typical call. A guy, you'd call him a knucklehead, abandons his trailer with his hound dog in front. And they're staked out in the front yard. It's raining all day. He hasn't been home in about 4 or 5 days. No food, water, or shelter.
Wow.
And so the neighbor it kind of barks and nips at people. So the neighbor, there's no animal control. She has to push the food bowl with a broom to him to eat. It's raining today. It's been raining for 12 hours in Evangeline Parish, Mamou. So he's out there right now as we speak in the rain, all by himself. So what we have to do, and we call the sheriff, they're nice, but they say there's nothing they can do. They have no place to put the dog, even if they wanted to. So what we have to do is a strange, every day is kind of like this quasi-emergency preparedness, start from scratch kind of thing. I happen to know a couple there. We have to give them a donation to go out, try and remove the dog and put it in their backyard. I mean, is that insane?
Insane.
It is. And the sheriff says, okay, great, good, you guys handled it. I said, but sheriff, you need to issue an arrest warrant for the owner. Otherwise, what's the point? So, luckily they're open to that, but it's like, wow, every day is day one in Louisiana.
Yep. No, instead of something
anything out when it comes to animal welfare, basic services. I would be the first thing. One of the first things I would do if it was my community is everybody taking care of how the animals, how were services being provided, what's needed. Whew. So, hence my frustration of every day trying to figure these out when the people in charge don't even want to figure it out.
No.
I find very strange.
No, it is. And you've got to stay on top of these folks over and over and over again to get the job done. Know somebody locally.
Guys, don't you have a stakeholder, a share in this?
Yeah.
Like that bloodhound without food, water, or shelter, you're okay with that?
Yeah. No, exactly. Exactly.
Wow.
No, Wow is right. HumaneLA.org, HumaneLA.org. What about the dog shot in the knee, abandoned?
Forgive me, what was the last thing you said?
The dog shot in the knee and abandoned.
Oh, yeah. No. Oh, my goodness. Well, luckily, that shelter's on top of it. As rural as they are with very few services, they have a heart of gold. Crowley, Louisiana, tiny little shelter in the middle of nowhere. They actually answered the phone. The nice staff person, female, goes out at midnight, picks up the dog that has been thrown out of a car, and then another person shoots it in the knee because it was on their property.
Wow.
It's like, oh, my goodness. So luckily, imagine being shot in the knee. You know how painful that is.
No, but thank God the person's a bad shot and didn't kill the dog.
Yeah, probably wanted to. So it's at the vet. We're helping raise money. We're sending a gift card to that hardworking staff person because we want to acknowledge and pat people on the back when they do make an effort, when they do get out of bed, when they turn off the TV and go help. That's cool. I like that. That's worth it. So luckily, that dog's name is Luna. You can see his picture on our website. On our Facebook page. We're trying to be, like everybody else, posting stuff on social media to get people engaged and interested and caring.
Yep.
Not that big a deal. And Humane May helps us accomplish that. 5, 10, 15, 20. Let's hear it for that. Do it for Luna. Do it for the cats in your neighborhood. The mules in the French Quarter. They all could use a little bit of extra help.
HumaneLA.org is the website. HumaneLA.org. How ironical Crowley has a decent shelter when the Crowley Rice Center used to host that Cajun Classic thing with the dog fighting families of Louisiana that would get together and, I don't know, have sex
To your
amongst
credit,
themselves.
you
I
have a
don't know what
great
they're
memory.
doing.
You do not forget much. Yes, you are absolutely correct. A dog fighting, what was a convention?
Yeah,
A dog
Cajun Classic
convention.
is what it was called. Cajun
Yeah,
Classic
Cajun
1, Cajun Classic 2, Cajun Classic 3. I think the last one was like 2019, 2020 at the
you're right.
Crowley Rice Arena. And it was essentially, you know, when I went to LSU, the concessions in the stadium sold rolling papers. I'd scratch my head. I'm like, weed's illegal, and they have rolling papers for sale that LSU's selling. So the Crowley Rice Center has all the dog fighting stuff. There's no dogs. You can't buy a dog there, but they got the rolling papers, basically. It's just all the dog fighting crap, everything you need to know, how to get a dog even. You can't get it there, but how to get one. Going to set you up with a dealer, all of that. I mean, it's crazy. And I mean, it's like, hey, feds, hey, law enforcement, like, the Godfather at the wedding when they're taking all the license plates numbers down. Here's your crew. It's a target-rich environment. Here are the losers that are all in the dog fighting industry. Anyone showing up at the Crowley Rice, I was driving down the street, thought it might be interesting, go check that out, have no interest in dog fighting. Baloney. You love dog fighting. That's why you're there. That would have just been a great place to shoot video, get license plates, everything, and you pretty much have all the losers that fight dogs. But anyway, yeah, crazy.
You nailed it. Golden opportunity, like the mafia coming to your dance hall. All you had to do was put somebody in there. Oh my goodness! So, a lot of missed opportunities. We're still banging the drum, saying, "Look, guys, look, law enforcement. It's right out in the open. Just please pay attention."
Yep.
It's on social media. They're not shy. They're promoting their kennels and their fighting dogs and their litters and their records. So it's a challenge, just like trying to have people do the right thing. Shouldn't be that hard, and it's a challenge.
Next week we'll talk cockfighting in Louisiana with Jeff Dorson. Wow, that is sad. That joke is actually valid. HumaneLA.org. Our Humane May fundraisers going on right now. The whole month of May. Already one day in the books. It's May 2nd. 30 of 31 days left. We got to raise $10,000 in the next 4 weeks for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Don't say you're going to do it later in the month, because you're not. Do it right now. HumaneLA.org. Anything until next week, Jeff?
Well, we appreciate your sisters group. Look, everybody's doing what they can. A shout out to crew of Mid-City Mamas. Do I have it right?
Yeah.
They do wonderful work. We're giving 10% of our donations to them. If we hit the 10,000, they get 1,000. Why? Because we believe in helping the smaller groups. We've been there. We know the struggle, and we want to acknowledge their hard work. So this is a shared endeavor, guys. You give to us, and it gets split around the state.
Yep. Dogs, cats, kittens, and puppies, horses, goats, all kind of animals getting taken care of instead of abused, neglected, even killed, dying. Jeff, always a pleasure. Until next week.
Perfect, brother. Thank you so much. Bye, Corey.
That's Jeff Dorson, HumaneLA.org. That's the website. And he mentioned social media. If you go to the Humane Society of Louisiana on Facebook, they do a great job of updating photos. You go there and check out what they do. Read the little description of what's going on. You'll go to HumaneLA.org and donate. HumaneLA.org. Top left part of the page, you'll see me laying on the sofa with Blue Boy. Click on that and donate. HumaneLA.org. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon, 5 o'clock powwow. Rolling Stones going on as we speak. Wow. Unbelievable. Out in Gentilly, the Rolling Stones cranking up their set about 25 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago. Expected to go till about 7 p.m. The Rolling Stones expected to play till about 7. I wouldn't doubt if they go a little after 7. I think this is going to be a special show for them. Being outside in New Orleans, Irma Thomas joining them. Can't wait to check out the social media posts. I know the folks being out there, good for you. You're hitting a home run with that. Hey, speaking of home runs, Blue Plate mayonnaise, so good. So good. A New Orleans family tradition. I've never purchased any mayonnaise in my life from a grocery store except Blue Plate. Never had any other mayonnaise in my house, not a jar or squeeze bottle of any other mayonnaise in my house but Blue Plate mayonnaise. Blue Plate mayonnaise. It's in your grocery store in the same spot it's been forever. Some of you are like, where is it? Where's my Blue Plate? It's got a different label now. They've got a different label, but the same great stuff inside the jar and squeeze bottle. New look, same legendary taste, Blue Plate mayonnaise.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 airy locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Yeah, Yeah, you right. Hey, you on the causeway right now? Fire in a big to-go order to Trey Yen. Are you kidding me? Yummy, yummy in one's tummy. Curbside delivery. Trey Yen in Mandeville. It's so easy. You pull right in front. They walk it right out to your car. You pop up at home carrying a big box, a to-go order from Trey Yen. You're the hero. You North Shore folks want to dine in? Trey Yen welcomes you. They're at the foot of the causeway. You South Shore folks, don't run from Trey Yen. Embrace Trey Yen. It's Jazz Fest weekend. You're thinking about heading down to like the French Quarter or Warehouse District, maybe even your favorite uptown restaurant. It's going to be jam-packed and slam with tourists and visitors for Jazz Fest. The city's rocking and rolling. This weekend, you need that ace in the hole, that off the beaten path place like Lebanon's Cafe on Carrollton by the streetcar barn and Trey Yen in Mandeville. 25 short minutes from Lakeside Mall, and there'll be a few savvy Jazz Fest tourists hitting it, but not too many. There's always a seat for you at Trey Yen in Mandeville. So good. You won't be disappointed. Don't forget the Tong Cho sauce, and the bigger the party, the better. I'll tell you what, Miss Peaches, when you get 6 or 8 people at that table with the little lazy Susan thing in the middle, and you get to, let me spin over and get some ribs. Let me go the other way, grab some shrimp. You know, that's all the sauces. I love that. I love a bigger crowd. Everybody's ordering stuff. Everybody's sharing stuff, getting lots of different flavors and tastes. You go to Trey with 6 or 8 people and eat crawfish, shrimp, crab meat, soft shell crabs, speckled trout, flounder, oysters, steak, chicken. I mean, it's endless. It's great. It's fantastic. It's Trey Yen in Mandeville. The bigger the party, the better. Humane May fundraiser going on, humanela.org. That's the website to donate. Top left-hand corner, you'll see me laying down with Blue Boy. Click on that and donate. Trying to raise $10,000 this month for cats and dogs, kittens and puppies for the Humane Society of Louisiana. humanela.org. As we speak, Mick Jagger, Ron Wood, Keith Richards, the Rolling Stones performing in Gentilly outside Jazz Fest 2024. Yeah, those Rolling Stones, 60 plus years at it, since the early 60s. Irma Thomas expected to join Mick and the boys on the stage. Time is on my side. Not written by the Rolling Stones or Irma Thomas, but both sang that song, both recorded that song in the early to mid 60s, like 60 years ago. I'm guessing that's a natural, right? They both had hits with it. Irma Thomas and the Rolling Stones. Time is on my side. 80-year-old Mick Jagger. 83-year-old Irma Thomas. Wow, that's special. The weather's cooperating. Today, like 73 to 85 degrees out at Jazz Fest and in the metro area. High 70s right now. Cloudy in New Orleans. A little breeze blowing. Hopefully no rain on the South Shore. Rain on the North Shore a little bit. Rain in Baton Rouge earlier. Hopefully no rain over at Jazz Fest for the Rolling Stones. Tomorrow, a 30% chance of rain, but it was 40% for tomorrow yesterday, so going down a little. Saturday and Sunday, almost mirror days. Wake up to 72, gets up to about 85. Partly sunny, no rain. Yeah, you right. Louisiana has a new city. The city of St. George. St. George. It's basically the affluent area of Baton Rouge. Highland Road, all the nice parts of BR. They've annexed themselves from Baton Rouge legally, and the courts have backed it up. The courts rule in favor of those residents that wanted to leave Baton Rouge Parish. I don't know the statistics. I'm going to do some research tonight on it, but I'm assuming it's about a fifth of the Baton Rouge population, like 20%. And I'm assuming it's over 40% of the tax base for East Baton Rouge. That's my guess. I'll get you the facts tomorrow, but that's my guess that St. George residents. Baton Rouge, East Baton Rouge has like 450,000 folks roughly, I think, in East Baton Rouge Parish. Metro Baton Rouge has about 850,000. They're closing in on 1 million folks. But East Baton Rouge, I believe, is 450,000. East Baton Rouge is the largest parish in the state. It's East Baton Rouge, 1, Jefferson Parish, 2, Orleans, 3, St. Tammany is 4, and then I think where Shreveport is, what is that, Bossier, they're 5. So largest parish population-wise in the state. I'm guessing St. George makes up about 1/5 of the population and closing in on 40+%, maybe half the tax base. I remember in New Orleans pre-Katrina, and this is 20 years ago, a generation ago, Lakeview made up 50% of Orleans Parish's tax base. 50%. Those banks on Harrison Avenue had the largest deposits of any of those branches in the chain. Because the Lakeview 20 years ago, a generation ago, I don't know what the median age was, but it was about 20 years older than it is today. Maybe 30. I mean, it was a 65-plus haven. It was a retirement community in Lakeview. Now it's a flip-flop. It's the Velvet Cactus and the Steak Nice Rockin', and it's kind of younger crowd. They went from older than me to younger than me in Lakeview. By golly. By golly. Anyway, a new city, St. George, breaking apart from Baton Rouge. Not good for North Baton Rouge. Boy, up Plank Road, up Scotlandville, a lot of, poverty, a lot of low-income folks not making a lot of money, struggling. It's beyond paycheck to paycheck. It's rough. You go up the I-110, take any of those exits away from Exxon, going east, Choctaw and all those different exits. It's rough. Wyandotte, all those, it's tough. That tax money from the affluent area, the St. George area, it's all going into St. George. It's not going to the rest of the city. How can one man surrounded by police shoot and kill 4 cops and shoot and wound 4 others? Answer, AR-15 assault type weapon. Verified by Lee Zurich and Fox 8, NOPD officer Jeffrey Vappie was on the mayor's executive detail on that balcony in the French Quarter, dining, yucking it up, enjoying each other's company, drinking wine. He was on the clock. I mean, I don't know. Look, I sit here and go, I can't believe it. I mean, they both have hired defense attorneys. The federal indictment seems inevitable. How do they do this stuff? Well, that's what they do. That's why they are hiring defense attorneys. That's why a federal indictment is inevitable. Or it just they do this kind of stuff, not thinking. Criminals are stupid or dumb or whatever the expression is. Lee Zurich, Fox 8, St. Bernard Parish. Crazy. This Lane guy, John Lane, having his son's wedding at the historic courthouse and not paying for it. Putting that legacy on his son. His son's always going to carry that baggage. Oh, you're the one with the free wedding at the St. Bernard courthouse, huh, dude?
Ooh, Lord Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Lord Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Since 1896, a true taste of New Orleans, Leidenheimer French bread. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
River Cities. Total maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Yeah, you're right. I'm playing the keyboards. That's a guitar. Yeah, you're right. Humane May fundraiser going on right now. Day 2 of 31. Don't say you're going to donate later in the month. You got time to do it later. You're not going to do it later. It's like the guy throwing trash in the back of his pickup truck. Gets home and, the trash fairy must have come when I was driving and took my trash away. No, you're the pickup truck person and you're throwing trash in the back of your pickup truck. You're in denial. You think you're like not littering. No, you might as well throw it out on the street because you are littering. It's going to fly out of your truck once you hit 35 miles an hour, whatever. Just ridiculous. People are in denial, living in denial. The pickup driver with the litterer, mentality. But I put it in the back of my truck. I don't know why it's not there when I got home. Yeah, you know why. You're an adult man. What are you doing? You're littering. No, you're out there, an adult man right now going, yeah, Corey said he's got 4 more weeks. I'll donate later in the month. You're not. You're looking to let it just go away. Oh, forgot to donate. I guess I'll do it next year. That happens so many folks, so many times, year in, year out. I'm trying to help out cats and dogs, kittens and puppies, horses, goats, animals in Louisiana that are abused, that are neglected, that aren't taken care of right, that are wounded, injured, that need to be rehabbed. Trying to stop the ones from being killed or that die from neglect. Jeff Dorson runs the Humane Society of Louisiana. They do all the tough work for us. All we got to do is pull out our credit card and donate. They've got to go to Avoyelles Parish and get the judge to allow them to go onto the private property and take the neglected animals away. And then the sheriff has to come in and arrest that person. And then they've got to rehab that animal and on and on and on. And it's a process and it's hard. And they're told no a lot. And these animals get neglected and sometimes die. So it's a tough gig. They do all the heavy lifting. They do all the hard work. We got it easy. I almost feel guilty. It's like I just hype it a little bit. And I give a credit card. I give some money. And then I can kind of like, I don't have to go be Jeff and deal with all that crap, deal with all that stuff. No, they do it for us. We are a state that has 64 parishes. Less than half have any kind of shelter. New Orleans, Orleans Parish, New Orleans. Who are you calling if there's a stray dog in your neighborhood? Anyone answering that phone? Anyone coming out and getting that stray dog? Come on. You know the story. Jeff's been doing it for 35 plus years. Go to the Humane Society of Louisiana on Facebook. You see the photos. You read the little write-up under the photo. You'll go to humanela.org and donate. humanela.org. Yeah, our Humane May fundraiser, trying to raise $10,000 in the month of May, going on right now. Please donate right now, humanela.org. As we speak, I'm guessing about, depending on when they started, they were scheduled to start at 5 p.m. sharp. I might be wrong. They maybe started at 4:55. I doubt the Rolling Stones started at 5 o'clock sharp. I don't know when they started, 5:05, 5:08, 5:15. I have no idea. But it is expected to be a 2-hour performance. Their Houston show over the weekend was the first show of this tour. New Orleans right now at Jazz Fest is the second stop on their tour. In Houston, they did 18 songs, then came out for a 2-song encore. 20 total songs, about 2 hours total time. So depending on when things started at Jazz Fest, and then bringing Irma Thomas out on the stage and her singing, maybe some other folks, maybe Mick Jagger talking a little bit more than he normally would in any other city. The mild weather, it'll be 7 o'clock, a little after 7. They'll be 2 hours into their set and the weather's perfect. I'm thinking the Rolling Stones are going to go till about 7:15. Who knows? Maybe they started right at 5 and they're stopping at 6:58 and they're done. But my guess is you got a good hour and 15 minutes left, maybe an hour and 10, hour and 15 minutes left of the Rolling Stones. And a lot of folks are beelining out to that area. I was talking to a friend today. She says, me, my husband, our kids, we're going to Lola at 5:30. Like they're already there. They're outside dining at Lola, listening to the Rolling Stones right now. There are no other bands playing. So you'll only be hearing the Stones. Now I'm going to fill you on a little secret if you want the spot to go to. Because the Acura stage is just, an eighth of a mile away. Go down Esplanade, say your Broad's behind you, you're heading towards the Bayou, towards Carrollton, Wisner, towards Noma. You're passing, the Fairgrounds is a block into your right. You're passing the Conseco grocery store. In about a block or two, there's Derby Place. And there's two like stone, pedestals, I guess, on either side with the little sign, Derby Place. Turn in there. There's the Jockey Club on your right. I think the audio right there. I mean, Acura Stage about 1/8 of a mile away or so right there. Not too far away. Blue Boy, you like the Jockey Club suggestion? Outside dining at Lola tonight, listening to the Stones. I wish I was there. Hey, New Orleans, have a great evening. See you tomorrow. Fantasy Friday, 4 p.m. Be there.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.
It is.